Aura versus LifeLock. Which one's better? Let's find out. We're breaking everything down, from its credit monitoring to its threat resolution, customer service, pricing structure, and what other services or tools these provide. If you're ready to get started, don't forget to check out the description below for an exclusive discount link to these services. It'll save you some money and support the channel at no cost to you. To begin with, credit monitoring is one of the most crucial components of identity theft protection. Knowing this can prevent escalations. You'll get a notification if someone's trying to open an account or a credit line under your name, and you can begin to take steps to prevent further escalation. Aura and LifeLock both do credit monitoring to begin with, but how they do it differs. One thing that I suggest from an identity theft protection service is that you have monthly credit score updates, as well as monitoring to all 3 credit bureaus. Something that I really love about Aura is that it provides monitoring to all 3 credit bureaus, Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian, to any plan that you choose to go with. That means the individual, the couples, and the family plans all cover the 3 credit bureaus. In contrast, LifeLock kind of pigeonholes you into having to upgrade to the highest tier, the Ultimate Plus plan. If you only choose a lower tier, you will get monitoring to only 1 credit bureau. It's just too risky to only have coverage for 1 credit bureau. So if you do go with LifeLock, I do highly suggest opting for their higher tier so that you have that peace of mind. Personal information monitoring is very important. Well, what is personal information? It's beyond your first and last name. It's your address, it's your social security number, it's your financial accounts, and email address. So both of these companies, LifeLock and Aura, cover the personal information monitoring, but the limitations vary from each company. LifeLock does monitor more insurance policies, addresses, and financial accounts, whereas Aura's coverage is more broad. They cover things like email addresses, credit cards, as well as additional things like IP addresses, passport numbers, and even loyalty cards. Something else that's notable about Aura is the fact that it provides national provider identification monitoring. So if you're, for example, a healthcare provider with an MPI, well, that safeguard's pretty important, as no one will be using your MPI because Aura's on it and monitoring and keeping that safe. Whereas LifeLock monitors things like your mother's maiden name, which Aura does not. So depending on what profession or what's important to you, each service could be providing a different or a unique protection. Now, a reliable real-time alert is key in order for you to prevent further escalation of identity theft. Both Aura and LifeLock provide alerts, but the timing in which those alerts are provided differ from service to service. I have found that Aura, for example, provides more real-time alerts or faster real-time alerts than LifeLock. Now, in my testing, I've noticed that LifeLock is a little bit slower. When it comes to identity theft, minutes are crucial. And when real-time alerts give you a couple extra minutes to get started and get ahead of identity thieves, that is just going to save you more time and more of a headache trying to recoup that data or those potential lost funds. So I would say that Aura's faster response definitely gives it an edge over LifeLock in this category. Now, let's say the worst does happen and you are now a victim of identity theft. Having a team behind you becomes very crucial, i.e. customer support. And so both companies, Aura and LifeLock, have great customer support, but the structure and how their call centers work differ widely between each company. And so what I've found is that I absolutely love Aura's customer service. Their threat resolution team is top notch. I mean, once you go through the triage process initially, which only takes a minute or so, you will get an instant answer within almost seconds from a real person because of their US-based call center. Now with LifeLock, unfortunately, you have that traditional call center structure where you get funneled through until you get to the right person to help solve your issue. There is one way to get around that with LifeLock, which is upgrading, of course, to their highest tier. And with that, you will get priority assistance. Now, again, with Aura, you get priority across any plan you choose to go with them. With LifeLock, because of their tiered structure, you have to pay the biggest bucks in order to get the best coverage. That's something that's a little annoying to me, as resolving identity theft once you become a victim is of utmost importance. Now, continuing with the fact that let's say the worst does happen and you become a victim of identity theft, we go on to insurance policies and what that covers. Just looking at how they're structured and what it covers, the companies do differ slightly. And so let me break it down for you. Aura, for example, across any plan you choose, whether individual, couples, or family, each adult gets coverage of $1 million. If you're in a couples plan, that means that you and your partner both have $1 million of coverage. And if you have greater assets, you can add $5 million of coverage for only $4 a month. It's just simple and a no-brainer. With LifeLock, we are unfortunately back to the tiers and what they cover. Now, if you're at the highest tier, you do get $3 million of coverage, which at face value sounds great, but you have to read the fine print and see how that $3 million is divided amongst each identity theft issue, like lost time, assets lost, things like that. When you go in the lower tiers, you get way less coverage, and I mean significantly less. Now, let's move on to something that if you watched previous videos, my viewers would understand. And if you're new, I'll take a little bit of time to explain it. Data broker sites. Now, what is a data broker? Well, they're kind of scummy people that scour the internet, scraping your information and selling it to the highest bidder. It's annoying, and it's as part of why you get spam emails, spam calls. How do these services protect you from that? Again, they both offer some sort of data broker removal. They both differ in what that service looks like and how much that service covers. So let's get started with Aura. Aura covers about 30 websites or data broker sites. The cool thing about Aura is the fact that they will automatically and on your behalf submit takedown requests, and after those submissions have been completed, they will continuously scan those websites to make sure that data brokers don't repost your information. Now that is important because LifeLock, on the other hand, they only cover 19 data broker sites. The bigger, more important headache with that is the fact that they only show you where your information is. They don't automatically take it down unless you're part of their biggest tier. If you don't go with their top tier, they'll show you the information and then you have to go in and manually do it yourself. Now, beyond identity theft protection, each service comes with additional tools, and what those tools look like differ from service to service. With Aura, you get VPN, antivirus, as well as a password manager and an online storage vault. I wouldn't say that this is the top tier, best in the industry, but for a starter package, this is a great bundle. You get a little bit of everything, and you can always get other standalone services that far excel at what Aura does. The other thing is, with Aura's family plan, you do get great parental controls. So Aura does a great job of just covering all the bases. LifeLock, on the other hand, relies or leans heavily on Norton's name brand, meaning that, yes, the other additional services are great and top tier, like Norton's VPN, or Norton's antivirus. Again, if you have these services, adding LifeLock would complete the package. But if you're starting from scratch, then Aura just has a better base package to begin with. Both only take about 15 minutes to set up from start to finish, so I won't knock any of them on that. That's great timing, but it will come down to user preference depending on which dashboard you like, which one customers will prefer. In my experience, I've stayed with desktop. I know mobile makes it easy and quick to access it, but usually my laptop's somewhere near me and I just open it up, quickly log on to Aura, check things out, make sure everything's fine, and then the rest, it will alert me via text or something like that, even email. Now, let's talk about pricing. Aura's pricing structure, like I mentioned throughout the video, is very simple and straightforward. You have individual, couples, and family structures. They all have the same basis of coverage. The only thing that differs is under the family structure, you have parental controls and web limits and screen time limits as an option. Now, prices can change, but I will throw up the most up-to-date prices on this video. Plus, don't forget, we have additional discounts in the description below for either service that we're speaking about. So if you're ready to get started, click on that link and save yourself some money. In contrast, LifeLock does offer different plans, but within each plan, there will be a tier. So if you have the family plan, it will cover less adults, but you might have to upgrade to their full tier in order to get all parental controls unlocked. So in the end, what do I recommend? Well, drum roll, Aura. I mean, just talking about what it covers, the tools that it gives you, and the pricing structure, everything with Aura just makes sense. Again, both Aura and LifeLock offer identity theft protection services, but what they offer, the speed at which each service functions, and the coverage that it provides differ from service to service. If you already have that Norton VPN or antivirus software, then adding LifeLock just makes more sense to complete the package. If you're starting from scratch, or you want easy to understand full protection as a base start, then Aura just makes more sense. So if you're considering signing up for either service, just don't forget to check out the link below for an exclusive discount. It'll save you some money and support the channel at no cost to you, which we always appreciate. Again, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.